out of all the questions you may or may not have for part 2 of the worldwide celebration, there's only one we really care about, which is, I guess for the sake of this video at least, which is what EZAs could we possibly see for part 2, right? Which units are actually up for EZA? Which ones have a realistic chance to get an EZA? And I mean, those are a bunch of different questions there, but you get the point. And essentially, another question that kind of falls in line with this one is, what is the theme for part 2? Because the theme will definitely dictate the EZAs that we see. And I want you to remember that they did mention that Trunks' travels throughout all of Z through Super will be shown, or I guess will be represented throughout the course of this celebration. And many people immediately pointed to the fact that this Trunks is from Cell Saga, which means that we don't need any more, like, this could just be Trunks from Z, which means everything else could be Super. So people are saying, you know what, part 2 is definitely going to be Rose and sort of Hope Trunks. And while I would love for those to be actual legitimate options, I wouldn't say that it's going to 100% be, right? Even though, again, I want that to be the case, I don't think that this Trunks itself is just enough to cover everything from Z. And let's just say, for example, that they are not going to do Cell Saga. I think everyone needs to understand that there's still a whole other arc that they could cover for part 2, which is the future Gohan and future Trunks arc, right? Let me actually pull them up. Where are they? Are they here? Are they here? Right here. So this is an entire arc that they could still technically give us a character for. Like, part 2 LR could literally easily be a Gohan that goes into Trunks, right? Or just an LR Super Saiyan Trunks that goes Super Saiyan, shall return after seeing Gohan die. Like, basically a continuation of this card here. It's definitely possible. So let's hop into this. I will say no subscriber challenge today, but we are closing in on 61K. So if you want to stay up to date with all part 2 news, make sure you subscribe. Road to 61K, and only you can make that possible. I appreciate you. Let's hop into this video. So let's just assume for a second, right, that part 2 will be Cell Saga themed. Which EZAs could we potentially see? And again, I don't want to see Cell Saga stuff for part 2. Maybe you do, which is perfectly okay, just a personal preference there. But if part 2 would be Cell Saga themed, and when I say Cell Saga, or Android Saga, I'm specifically mean, like, after Frieza, not like the future stuff. So one option is definitely this Trunks. I know he is a 2022 character. We have gotten EZAs faster, okay? But I think no one would really be upset that he received an EZA. I wouldn't say it's the most likely option, but if you look throughout the entirety of, Android / Cell Saga, there isn't really that many EZA options to really like really hype EZA options, right? So I put them up here. It's definitely possible. I wouldn't say it's extremely likely, but it's possible. We also have SCR Super Vegeta, who I think is more likely to get an EZA compared to Trunks, but not overall. We'll have to see how they want to handle that. But again, two characters that if these two characters EZA'd, again, I think that's unlikely, but if they were to, I think it would be really hype part 2, because these two characters, like the Trunks having a second chance at life, would be really cool. And then this Vegeta, I mean, he's extremely strong already. If they just gave him some good defensive tools, he could end up being, a top TUR again in the game. So this could be really cool depending on how they want to handle that. Another option could be this Tech Trunks. I mean, I think it's an obvious choice. Like, he might even EZA regardless of what the celebration theme is for part 2. And then we also have the Cell Juniors. I think it's definitely, an easy choice. Maybe even the Super Vegeta, again, another easy choice. And that's essentially it for Android / Cell Saga. I mean, again, you could have some other small options there, but I think these characters, if we're going to see a Cell Saga theme celebration for part 2, which I don't really want too much, but it's possible, these are the characters that I could definitely see us getting EZAs for. Let me go ahead and delete all of them. And after that, I want to talk about the future arc, as in like Gohan and Trunks' future. I would love for this character to get an EZA. They're really like, they're not bad, right? I think they just have some minor flaws, like both offensively and defensively. At least, you know, compared to today's meta. Obviously, it's a little unfair, but you get the point. I think that this character could really benefit from an EZA, especially if the Part 2 LR tends to be some sort of, you know, kid or teen Trunks that transforms into Super Saiyan, like I mentioned before. Essentially a continuation of this card, right? Because after this, you know, Gohan gets clapped up, dies, Trunks wakes up and cries, and Super Saiyan, there you go, right? We also have this future Gohan. I would love for this man to get an I feel like the time is just right for this EZA, and he could end up looking really, really interesting. So I'm just hoping that they actually show this man some love, and right alongside him would be this future Gohan, obviously. I mean, you can't do one without the, like, this would be like a sub EZA for this EZA, right? So let's just, you know, hope that they actually do that. We also have both of these android characters here. I just tossed them in there. They could be sub EZAs, maybe. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention, someone's going to say something in the comments, but the physical LR androids for Cell Saga could also be up for EZA. I completely forgot about them. But yeah, so in case these two characters get EZAs, it's just, you know, just another possibility. But these are the characters here that I definitely do see getting an EZA if they want to focus on the future Trunks and Gohan arc for Part 2 of the worldwide celebration. Now that we got these two out of the way, I'm saving, like, you know, the best for last, right? Because we all know that even though these are possibilities, we only really care about future getting some Part 2 love here. And the first one, obviously, is LR Rose, right? Now, I mean, yeah, LR Rose. This is, like, if this guy gets an EZA, man, like, I just hope, when he first released, I mean, I spoiled this one. We all know we want him to get an EZA too, but if Rose got an EZA, I think it'd just be so exciting, because for me personally, I like this, you know, final blow delivered buff, but add something else to it, you know? Like, have this character crit for the first few turns just to really easily knock this off. Maybe gets an extra attack buff on Super for the first few turns, plus the guaranteed crit for the first few turns to really take advantage of this ability. And then, of course, like, have him do something else besides build up ki. Maybe he built up defense. Maybe he built up guard. Or not guard, but damage reduction. There you go. Yeah. Damage reduction, or maybe crit chance past the initial crit turn, you know, limitation. Anything besides, like, just the ki here, right? I want this character. I want to go. It'd be cool. What I'm trying to say is that it would be, I think, interesting for Dokkan to have a character who, I mean, it would be annoying limitation-wise, right? Because you have to get the KO. But if they build him for, like, the first 3 turns, right? Let's say he got attack and defense was 100%. And then, you know, when facing a super class enemy, or when facing a specific enemy, or just for the first few turns, he got an extra 100% attack on super, plus guaranteed crit. And that would essentially allow you, at least for the first few turns of any fight, just to, like, literally just one-shot the enemy, right? And with that ability, you can then build up whatever they end up giving him. So it could be ki plus 2, up to 6, damage reduction plus, you know, 10% up to 30%, defense plus 30% up to 90%, and then, you know, I guess chance to dodge plus 10% up to 30%. Each time final blow is delivered. I should have more eloquently said there. But I think that'd just be interesting. Again, they can build him any way they want. I don't really care at the end of the day, as long as he's good, as long as he's usable, right? But LR Rose, a really exciting EZA. But if I had to pick between these two, I'm sorry, I gotta go this guy, dude. This guy is just so bad. And it's so interesting because all they gotta do, hear me out, okay? All they gotta do is give him, and again, they're going to give him more than this, right? But to make this guy good, you just have to give him start of turn defense, dude. Like, if they just give him 50% defense start of turn, and then guaranteed additional in here, with, like, you know, some few turn guard, he'll end up being, like, when I say few turn guard, I should have, again, I can't speak English today, guard for the first few turns, he could end up still being really, really, really good, right? Because he's greatly stacking defense in both. So it ends up being that, like, 50% defense goes a long way. Now they're definitely gonna give him like something like 130%, 150% to both stats. Hopefully, if he were to get an EZA. But that would just make him really strong, because greatly raising defense is no joke, dude. Like, this is an extremely strong ability. They have to be really careful, because remember, he's gonna have EZA stats, so they have to be really careful with how much defense they give him at the start of turn, because he could end up being another case of Tech Gohan, which no one's going to care, right? Like, I would love for this guy to be the defensive menace of the game. Compared to Tech Ultimate Gohan, but the extreme class version, of course. So personally, I would do maybe just like 100. I would do just, straight up 150% defense. Why not, right? And then 50% defense up to 150. And then chance to crit. I'd build up that chance to crit. I'd make this 10% and then make it up to 50% there, right? So just higher chance to crit, and then I'd give him, guaranteed additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super when you have another worldwide chaos ally attacking in the same turn, right? Cool. And then when he transforms, I would make this, I think attack and defense plus 170 is fine, right? Chance to crit, we got to make this 70%. Extreme class allies 3 key, and I think 40% to defense is fine, right? Maybe give him an ability to disrupt the enemy's actions, but once only within the turn, right? And then it's similar to LRs, because LRs have that disrupt ability on their 18 key, and LRs can't perform that 18 key multiple times during one turn, so that's why they slap it there. But if they were to give it to him here, they could just make it once only within the turn. So if he were to get an additional super attack, then it wouldn't, it'd be fine. He could also have an ability like in UI Goku, where for the first turn after appearing, he has some abilities. Maybe he guards for the first turn after appearing or transforming, like how UI Goku dodges for the first turn after he appears or after he transforms or whatever the case is. And then maybe he gets extra buffs when he activates that guard, right? It could be attack buffs, could be key buffs, could be whatever the case, whatever they want to give him. But again, I think that I would say without a doubt, this is what the heck is going on. This EZA would be, at least for me personally, you can let me know about you, but this is my most anticipated EZA throughout the entire future Saga category, list of characters that could possibly get an EZA. This is easily, without a doubt, my #1 choice here. So I'm very, very, very excited to see if they decide to go down that route. And then these last two characters here, this Zamasu, I think, has a lot of potential. I mean, all they gotta do is give him a good amount of defense, and he just becomes a really solid tank. And then if he had the ability to, let's say he had that LR Pan ability, where LR Pan heals a certain amount of damage that she takes. Is that the way it's actually worded? Let me pull up LR Pan real quick. Hold on. Let's pull up LR Pan really quick. So LR Pan here, it is, recovers 33% of damage. Oh no, so this is damage dealt. I was talking more so like Zamasu recovers a certain percentage of damage received as HP. So like, let's say Zamasu took 400k on a super or on any attack. He would, let's say it was 25%, so 100k of that would go back into your HP, or I guess it just turns into damage reduction, right? So you know what, no, you can just word it as this, right? Yeah, actually word it as this. Zamasu does not need to be, this guy does not need to be an offensive beast, right? Who cares? He doesn't need to do that. So he could, for me, all I care, he doesn't need any attack power in this, maybe like 30%, 40%, right? To actually have this do something, because Pan doesn't really have any attack, which makes sense because they don't want you, recovering crazy amount of HP. But let's say Zamasu had like 30% attack, right? It's not an LR, there's just 30% attack. And then reduces damage received by 60%, right? Maybe defense plus 60% start of turn. Recovers 10% HP here, and then he had some extra recovery here, and then some extra stats. I wish this was the less HP remaining, because that's just the better way to build characters in my opinion. But yeah, again, they could end up making this guy really, really, really unique. And just same with this Trunks. Again, these guys release around the same time, right? They have very similar. This is the way, in my opinion, that you build a character, right? Because in events where you need help, this ability, the less HP you have, like, you're gonna have a rotation where you have no HP. You need the god himself, right? You need characters who are going to give you really strong buffs when you just have no HP left, right? That's a character I can depend on. So this character again has a perfect kit for EZA. All they gotta do is give him 100% defense start of turn, make this 50% because why the frick not, make this 150% because why not, and then super class support. Easy, done, period. Anyways, let me know what you think. There's a lot of options here. This is the entire future Saga category. I could have pulled up some other categories and links too to show you more characters, but at the end of the day, what matters is our boy gets it. Where is he? Our boy gets an EZA. But let me know what you think. Let me know who you want to see get an EZA, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and peace.